what is charity? Is it giving alms? Is it donating to the poor? Is it donating to orphanages? Or is it simply taking care of your own? Because as they say, charity begins at home. Today on the show, myself and this pretty lady here will be attempting to understand true charity. When we come back from this short break, we'll go straight into it. In case you don't know, my name is Chima, and this is Catholic Faith Forum. Welcome back to Catholic Faith Forum. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. And I have with me Nonso.
No, I thought you're not going to call my name.
No, I decided to.
This pretty boy over here, don't call my name.
No, you are my bestie now. I wanted to save like the best introduction for you, but
I beg
you have ruined it. So we'll manage whatever we give you. How are you doing now?
I'm fine. How are you, Chima?
I'm good.
I like your shirt.
I like yours too.
I can see me on your shirt. It belongs to me. Give me.
Don't worry, we'll talk about that.
And we're talking about charity, you know.
It doesn't concern my shirt, my dear. All right, so yeah, like you said, we're talking about true charity. And the church in the Catechism defines charity in paragraph 1822 as the theological virtue by which we love God above all things for his own sake, and our neighbor as ourselves for the love of God. Now, looking at this definition, do you think what is practiced today is charity? Or do you have another definition of charity that you could share with us?
For me, it would be, I like to say charity for me is treating your neighbor like God, basically. So it's not you saying, I'm giving this person, but let me say, what would Jesus do? Yep. So that's what charity means for me, treating the next person like you would treat God. And that's what charity basically is. Because it's a theological virtue, and it is should I say, the foundation are the faith, hope, and love. And if you have all of this as a Christian, then I think you're charitable enough, yeah. And if you talk about it being practiced in our let me use our climb, Nigeria, we know that a lot of us here are very poor. I mean, poverty is one thing that is even killing more people than diseases in this country. And then people would ordinarily say, and I know that, yes, the average man in Nigeria is not wealthy. And then they find it very difficult to help other people. I mean, giving out. And charity is not about giving food or money all the time.
Then what is it?
Even when you give your time, I'm telling you that your time is a lot. And you can be charitable with your time. And then it makes a lot of meaning to another person. So it's not just about giving resources,
your time, food your prayers, even something as a listening ear, even something as small as a how are you, it's charity.
Your presence
is enough as
not
charity.
All the time, though. Not all the time.
For a lot of people, though, it works and it helps you, help them, put them in a better place, which is what charity is supposed to be. Now, what exactly is the difference between what we've just said right now and, helping people, giving alms? What exactly is the difference?
The difference for me is giving alms is just giving alms, giving out to somebody, money, food to somebody. And when you are giving alms, it's not like you really think about it. You don't leave your house and say, oh, okay, today you might be weird like that.
People plan it.
People can plan it, but there are a lot of things that come your way, and then it tests your charitability at that point in time when you are faced with some kind of issues. It might be at your workplace, and then someone comes to you, you don't plan for it.
Yeah, true.
You can't plan for such things, but
it's very easy to tell them I'm busy.
Exactly. You can plan. Okay, I'm going out. I'll just hold like 500 or 100 naira, and if I see people, I want to give them on the road. Yeah. But you don't plan, I want to plan myself now today. So if my colleague comes to me and I want to help them, no, that's not what charity is, and that's the difference between what we talked about and then giving alms.
Yeah, very solid points. Very, very solid point, my dear. All right, so can we choose when to be charitable and not to be? I think not. I think we should be charitable at all times, because like you said, your colleague can just come up to you in the office and be like, yo, I need your help, or I need advice and all of that. So you can't really choose when you can be charitable or not.
You?
No, I don't think it is. Yeah.
I think it's not a hard and fast rule.
Okay.
There are some times where you really need to think about it, especially when it's testing some things, some of your values, your faith.
Fair point.
So you might have to think about it. You can't just say, oh, I just want to be charitable for charitability's sake or something. So you just have to, I think for me, you have to think about it.
Okay.
You use anytime I
No, but I feel it's
anywhere belle face.
Well, it like not really anywhere belle face, but I think it's something that we just have to, be open to at all times. Using that same example again, I'll keep coming back to it. Your colleague can just walk up to you in the office and ask for some favor, maybe relating to work or relating to something else, maybe their personal life. And at that point in time, it's very easy for you to say, look, I'm busy. Go and come back, or we'll go talk later. And then after that, you vanish.
No, you can say you are busy and then still ask the person to come back.
At the same time, you are not really prepared for it, but at the same time, you know that the charity is something that you have
and you get to think about it.
You have to continually practice. So I think you don't really have a monopoly or so over when you should be, but I think you should just be open to it at all times. Yeah. So the fruits of charity are joy, peace, and mercy. Looking at your daily life now, how do you see this play out?
Joy, peace, and mercy. Nigeria is very hard.
Yeah.
First of all, Nigeria is hard. Being an adult is harder in Nigeria. And then joy, peace, mercy. I know, okay, no, now seriously. It plays out, I wouldn't say every time, because there's sometimes that it just hits you that, oh, you've been actually merciful to somebody, or you've just done something that relates to joy or to peace or mercy. It just hits you. But I don't think for me, because I'm just using my own personal experiences now, I don't think it was something that I used to, or it's something that I hold consciously.
Or actively
it's not a conscious thing in my mind that's okay, for everything I do, let me make sure I'm joyous. But there's always something in me that brings me back to reality when I'm beginning to complain a lot, when I know that I'm drowning in maybe sadness or depression, not like I'm depressed, but sometimes, not that word, because sad, nothing excites you anymore. And then something comes to mind and just reminds you that joy is something that should be at the fore of your existence.
There's also the fact that when you actually and actively practice charity the way it should be practiced, you find out that you are more peaceful. Like there's really nothing that, no matter how strong or how tough things get, nothing really bothers you, because you just have a peace which you cannot explain. Don't worry, I'll share some more examples with you, but wait, let's go on a short break so that we can take a breather. When we come back from this short break, we'll be going more into the discussion. Stay with us. Welcome back. My name is Chima, and I still have Nonso here with me, looking all, pink and all. And we're still talking about true charity. So, quickly, we've discussed what charity is. Now, let's look at what charity is not. Dictionaries define charity as, giving to organizations or bodies and everything.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the church says something else. Does this conform to, does the dictionary definition actually conform in a way to what the church is teaching?
I don't think it's a total departure from what the church is saying, because it's giving. But then another thing is, when the dictionary tells you it's an organization or giving to a group of people, I think it's more like CSR, or doing it for the society to get better.
Yeah.
So I think that's it, Sha. But basically, when the church talks about human dignity, what makes up the society is still human beings. So I don't think it leaves entirely what the church is saying.
Yeah, but it, like you said, I like the fact that you mentioned CSR. It actually feels a lot more like CSR. CSR, for people who do not know, is corporate social responsibility, where people and organizations are, required by sometimes law to, give back to the people they take from. Because basically, companies
give and take.
companies make money from people, so they are required to give back in some way. So charities these days feels a lot like CSR, especially when it has to do with bodies and everything.
Companies.
There's one, there's this very beautiful place in Lagos, Nigeria, that everybody likes to go and snap pictures at. You get it? It's a very find
where is that?
one water
I think
area
I
like
know
that.
where you're talking about.
Yeah, with nice boats and nice
But it's
rafts.
in Nigeria.
Yeah, Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like to go there and snap picture, and in their mind,
and the water is very clean.
Very clean, and they've done charity, and you know everybody sees the place, and everybody wants to keep going back there.
If we're talking about that same place, I don't know why you don't want to mention the place. But if we're talking about that same, I still know some organizations that go there and help people. I mean, last year, I know some residents of that area were chased out of their homes by the government somehow, and then they were rendered homeless. And I know some organizations actually put people back into schools, I mean children, and then even gave some people homes because they had to uproot them from there and take them to some other community for some people to host them again. So I think people are actually helping others.
Yeah, it's a great thing that people are doing it, but like we've been saying since the beginning of the show, the fact is that everything has to be rooted in the human dignity, the dignity of a human person. If you cannot do something for somebody because you love them
exactly
the way you love God, then there is no point in doing it. Like how a lot of people like to, you know, visit orphanages and all that and claim they are going there to celebrate
and
birthdays and take pictures. You understand? You are not respecting the privacy of the children. You're not even respecting the fact that, you know, they are in special circumstances.
I think you are saying this because I know this thing became, I mean, very public because of, I mean, celebrities and some other popular people started doing it. But some other people have been doing it quietly, and they've been doing it genuinely. Not because they wanted people to applaud them or say, oh, you are doing something very nice, or, oh, this person is a great person. But because they actually really care for these people. I remember when I was in secondary school, we go to Modupe Cole a lot, and when you get there, we'll cry a river and then come back, because you actually feel the way these people feel, and you then imagine that, oh, if I'm able to walk this way and this person is not doing this, let me actually at least help this person, because the moment you go there and visit them, they feel very happy. I went to an orphanage. When
last did you go back to Modupe?
Chima, why are you washing my linen in the public? But then I went to an orphanage once as well. I saw how happy the children were. I mean, a friend of mine wanted to celebrate her birthday, and so it's in the intent, it's in how they, how they really feel about it. And we do not know the minds of people. I can go there, take pictures, and I still really mean it.
Yep.
I just want to show other people that, oh, you can follow my footsteps and actually do this.
Yeah, intent is also key too. Awesome. All right, so let's look at now back to human person, because charity actually begins with self and everything. We have established of sorts that you should have no time to be charitable. Not, okay, today I'm going to listen to people, and tomorrow I'm going to squeeze face all through. You should be open-minded when it comes to that. So, but what of when there is a genuine reason to dislike somebody? Do you stop being charitable at that point in time, or towards that person?
I don't understand why you say when there's a reason to dislike someone.
Look, you know, there's this thing, like when some people's spirits do not just agree. It's a thing. Let's not.
But that's not a genuine reason not to like somebody.
My dear, like you are saying somebody and then
you don't just like the person.
Your body is doing you. It happens.
But that's for me. I know that we cannot always gel with everybody or be friends with everybody. But for me, the moment I feel like you've not done anything to me and I don't like you, that's a reason why I should try to at least show that you're a human being and do something other than, oh, I don't like you.
Exactly.
So that's, I mean, you can meet people today, you're looking at them, you don't just like them.
You don't just like them.
But that's a reason. When they now ask for help, you don't say, oh, I just look at it, I don't like you, go away. That should be a reason why you help the person.
No matter their antecedents or precedents or whatever, a lot of times you see people and you don't feel it. But I think the minute you decide to, you know, give in to that thought of this person may just day in day, may just stay clear. The minute you start giving that kind of thought room to grow in your head, you'll find out that you will not even want to look at that person like a human being, which is wrong, and which is actually the basis of charity, treating everybody as a human being, you get, as a creation of God. So no matter what, it can be hard. I know it's hard.
It's hard, definitely.
There are some people that, like I said, I can't just
Can we call names?
No, let's not do that, please. Before the director will not call me back for the show. But yeah, I think let's not give those thoughts room to grow so that we can actually have a better way to, you know, take everybody as human beings. Okay, what about charity begins at home? Now, that statement is everywhere. Everybody uses it loosely.
And some people don't even know the meaning
they
of
don't
that.
even exactly.
Yeah.
So what exactly does that statement entail?
I think when they mean charity begins at home, it means that people can be taught charity. There's nobody that is born extremely bad. There's nobody that is born, and the person is extremely wicked. Even the people that know that, oh, this person did something wicked, they were not born that way. So it's the home, that's the smallest institution. The family, that is only the family that you can get some values that would impact the life of a child positively. And charity is one of them.
Yep.
As a child, as a mother, as a father, yes, as a mother or father or parent, guardian, you are supposed to teach your child charity. See this person as yourself. I'm not seeing you as my neighbor at this point in time, because the Bible clearly tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves, meaning that I see you and I see myself. And I wouldn't want to do to you what I wouldn't want to do. So you are teaching your children to love the other person, to give when they need to or when they should, because sometimes you need to give and you might not need to give. It's not by force.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
And charity begins at home. It's not nepotism. Please, my dear Nigerians, charity begins at home is not nepotism. A lot of people like to interpret that statement in the fact that, okay, and if I have something, I'll first plug my family members first before I consider other people who are more
serious? But I never interpreted it that way.
Well, a lot of people actually interpret it that way. Meanwhile, ignoring the actual meaning of charity, which is to love people the way they should be loved. So if, for example, you are in a position of power and you're supposed to, do your thing, it's normal that you should do your thing. Okay, so now let's talk about how we can be charitable. We've been talking about charity for the larger part of the episode, but how can people actually imbibe it? And let's share tips with our viewers on how people can be charitable in this day and age. So let me go first. The first is to love God. Like we've been saying, charity starts from God. If you can fully bring yourself to love God, if you can fully bring yourself to understand what he wants for you, and I think it will be easy going forward. And then the next step will be, as you love God, love others for themselves. Or love God for God and then love others for themselves. A lot of people love God because they believe he is this almighty magic father that day I want something, he gives it to them. So, but people don't love God because people should not love God for that reason. People should love God for being who he is. And in the same vein, love others for being who they are. And this is basically how you can be charitable.
Okay, for me, number one, you give me this shirt. Okay, seriously. So love, you said love God and love your neighbor. Then for me, it's love yourself. You have to love God. So it's like what I call a trifecta. It's 3. So it's you love God, love your neighbor, and then love yourself, because you do not do things at the expense of your own happiness or at the expense of yourself. Not all the time. There are some times that you need to actually go through some small suffering. Because charity is sacrifice. Sacrificing your time, sacrificing your money, your food to people. So love God, love your neighbor, love yourself. I think it's that simple. And then give me this shirt when you are done.
No, so you and this shirt. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. It's really been a fun episode. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, and I was really enjoying the discussion.
Yeah, me too.
I was. And we should do this more often.
Yes, we will, definitely.
All right, that's been our show for today. Thank you so much for staying with us. But hold your horses. We're not going to leave just yet until we see the Know Your Faith team and what they have for us today. Stay with us.
Let's talk about the liturgical vestments worn by the priest at Mass. My name is Judith, and I welcome you to Know Your Faith series. There are numerous vestments worn by the priest ordinarily, but today our focus will be those worn at Mass. We have the amice, the alb, the cincture, the stole, and the chasuble. So first, which is the amice, is a rectangular neckcloth. It protects the neck from cold and protects the chasuble from sweat. The alb is a long white garment which represents the new and immaculate vestment that has been received through baptism. It symbolizes the purity required at Mass. The cincture is a cord used as belt to hold the alb at the waist, and symbolizes chastity and continence. It is the same color as that of the chasuble. The stole is a long, narrow band, wide and about 80 inches long, and of the same color as the chasuble. It is worn about the neck and down to the front of the priest, as a sign that he is serving in his official liturgical duties. The last one, which is the chasuble, is the biggest and the final vestment worn over all of the others. It symbolizes the virtue of charity and the yoke of unselfish love. Usually, when the priest wears each of these vestments, he says certain prayers. So next time you see a priest adorned in any of these garments, in all of these garments, appreciate it, because now I believe you know what they symbolize. Until next time, be bold, be Catholic.
Thank you to the Know Your Faith team for that insightful episode. I hope you've been able to pick one or two. Also, you remember what they said, Abby?
Are you asking?
I will ask you after.
Of course I remember.
All right, so that's it. True charity actually goes beyond just giving alms. It goes beyond just helping people. It is something that is inbuilt. It is something that comes from God. And if you want to practice true charity, make sure you love God, love others, and then love others as you love yourself. Thank you so much for staying with us. Nonso, once again, I'm grateful. Thank you for doing this with me.
Stop thanking me so much. It's okay.
No, I said that you will not go behind camera and then you will turn it to another. All right. So if you missed any part of this episode, you can always catch it up on our YouTube channel, Dominican Media Presents, where we have other episodes of the show too for you to catch up on. Our saint of the week is Saint Thomas Aquinas. And if you are a Catholic and you've not heard about this great saint, we need to check your DNA, you know. We need to revisit your catechism and see what went wrong. St. Thomas Aquinas is a doctor of the church and is responsible for giving us the Summa Theologiae and the Summa Contra Gentiles. His journey to immortality started from a young age, as he was a child with a great reverence for the Lord. And in 1244, he joined the Dominicans, disappointing his very wealthy parents who were prepping him to take over their wealthy empire. He also went to study under another great Dominican saint, Saint Albert the Great. By 1252, just 12 years after he joined the Dominicans, he was already known far and wide as a great teacher and a theologian. St. Thomas composed a lot of the Eucharistic hymns which we sing in the church today, including O Salutaris Hostia, and he also wrote a lot of poems. Thomas Aquinas is the patron saint of everything scholarly. Students, schools, teachers, lecturers, you name it. So if you're a student, you are looking for wisdom to do your research, make sure you petition St. Thomas Aquinas today to seek for intercession on your behalf. And that's our saint for the week. Thank you so much for staying with us on today's episode of CFF. Like I said, in case you missed any part of the show, make sure you catch it on our YouTube channel, Dominican Media Presents. The conversation does not end here though. It continues on our Instagram platform on Tuesday at 7 p.m. using the hashtag CFF chatroom. And this week's question is, how do you spot a charitable person? We'd like to know, is there a sign to look forward to? Is there a height, a weight? You know, Nonso, what do you think? So tell us on Instagram on Tuesday at 7 p.m. using the hashtag CFF chatroom. How do you spot a charitable person? Also follow us on Instagram and other social media platforms at CFF on TV. Thank you so much once again. And until we come your way with another beautiful episode of Catholic Faith Forum, keep being saints in jeans and shirts.